Anyways, we're going to end this today's podcast talking about child exploitation.
Oof.
Heavy topic. So if you got kids listening, or if this is a hard topic for you,
Shut it down now.
yeah, a warning. So we're going to watch.
I've never watched this yet. I've seen it on social media, or I saw people post it. But
Okay, so this is a 9-minute clip of Tim Tebow talking with Sean Ryan on the Sean Ryan Show about the exploitation of what's going on in America. And so hopefully this doesn't get flagged as me stealing this, whatever, for watching it or reacting to it. But it's about a 9-minute clip. Me and Gary are going to watch it, and then we're going to talk about it afterwards. I really want to watch this because I actually listened to a sermon that a friend sent to me a while ago from a Dutch Reformed pastor, and about the amount of sexual abuse that happens in Reformed circles and how much of it gets covered up. And he went to the cops about some case, and the cops actually said to him, "Oh, is it from that church?" And they said, "Yes." He goes, "Oh, we have lots of cases from there." Like, it was like the cops already knew, like, we're wide open about how much it was there. And it's just, it breaks.
to be fair, or to be super important to note, there would be lots of sexual abuse in every church, because there's lots of sexual abuse everywhere.
That's correct. That's
Right?
correct. It's 1 in 4 kids generally, but
well,
it's
with
but,
women
but it,
for sure.
but it's a
1 in
lot.
5, yeah,
Just
totally.
like porn use is higher in super conservative Reformed and super conservative Christian and super conservative Muslim cultures. Often when stuff is not in the open in general as a culture, and like we try to show that
It's
our good
more
side,
prevalent.
it's more prevalent because things get hidden. And so I want it to end. I want it to be less. So I think we have a little bit of an audience
clip.
here.
Okay.
And so we're going to watch it now.
But specifically, our heart is to get to as many and leverage anything and everything we can so that they can get out of this evil. And as I mentioned earlier, you think so much is done by all these groups and gangs, and yes, that does take place in a lot of areas. But man, it's overwhelming when you think how much is done by families, by friends, by those in the trusted circle. And especially when we talk about the fight against child exploitation and child sexual abuse, it's off the charts of what is being done in the families. And do you know what's I don't know if I want to say most disappointing, but maybe one of the most heartbreaking is, do you know the number 1 offender? Biological fathers. And it's not going to make your day, but I brought a map to share with you. Is this map? Every red dot on that. So first of all, that is a DOJ law enforcement map. It's called the red dot map. And this is over the last 30 days, and every red dot on that map is at least one unique IP address of individuals downloading, sharing, distributing child abuse and rape images under the age of 12. And there's over 111,000 of them just in the US of the last 30 days. And I wanted to bring that because I think it brings to life so much of the evil that we're trying to face. And people will say, well, that's just over there, and it's in those countries, and it's all of those places. And it's not. Sean, it's right here in our backyard. It is right here. And out of everyone, and some people will say, okay, well they're just downloading and sharing it and distributing it, but they're not. 55 to 85% are also hands-on offenders, and your average offender has 13 victims in their lifetime. 13 victims. Every one of those red dots is there's a boy or girl that is suffering on the other end of what they're sharing, downloading, or distributing. And I wanted to share that with you because I know that your heart breaks for them. And I think that map brings to life the evil that we're trying to fight. And it's why, one of our hearts is to get the Renewed Hope Act passed through Congress, because it takes the law enforcement officers right now and victim identification officers at C3, and they're amazing. Some of my favorite people in the world, but there's 7 of them right now at C3.
There's how many?
7.
Seven people to
Yes. And
combat
also
all of
ICACs are
this.
working on that. We love ICAC and we need to enhance their funding because they desperately need it. Internet crimes against children, and they're awesome. 62 locations around the country, but primarily the ones that are also working on this are at C3. And we want to get the Renewed Hope Act passed because it would take it from 7 to 200. And now we have a much greater chance if we have all of those officers that are trained and equipped to be fighting against this evil. And again, that's the last 30 days. And that's not getting into live streaming or sextortion or grooming or so many of the other issues we're fighting. That is just in peer-to-peer networks of them sharing and distributing child rape images under the age of 12.
This is 12 and under.
12 and under.
111,423 unique IP addresses.
And some people will say, well, that's just, they're just downloading it and they're just sharing it. And no, it's not just that easy. You have to go in, you have to download it, just, a peer-to-peer, and then you have to be able to download all of these images and then you're sharing them. It's not like this just happens by accident. It's not like, oh, I just looked at a bad picture, and it's not like this is a photo of a baby in a bathtub. No, so many of these are brutal abuse of children. And when we go back to those 50,000 boys and girls that are unknown in the ICSA database that we were talking about before, out of those 57,000, over 3,000 of them were infants or toddlers.
Oh, man.
And so if you say what's on our heart, and these are boys and girls that can't fight for themselves. They can't defend themselves. And yet, so many of us, myself for so long, did nothing to defend or stand up for them. And it is our heart that we would rally an army, and maybe we would even declare a national emergency to fight this evil. If this is happening in our backyard, and out of all those that have been rescued from, or out of all those that have been, safeguarded and rescued from Renewed Hope 1, 2, and 3, more than half of those boys and girls have been right here in the U.S. So we think it's over there, it's over there, it's over there. No, yes, it is happening in other places, but it is happening in our country, right here, in our neighborhoods, in our backyards, in our families. And then we get into the fight against live streaming. And do you know the number one payer of live stream rape of boys and girls around the world?
U.S.
U.S. Not close. And in peer-to-peer sharing, we're third. China, Russia, America.
Man.
Sorry, I do get fired up about it.
I do too, man. It's, how are you combating this?
Well, we're trying to do it in every area, in every way possible, whether that's with partnerships and nonprofits and law enforcement and rallying and task forces and legislation and lobbying, trying to get them to enhance the army per se in fighting this. And that's really what the Renewed Hope Act is for. But it's also getting the Renewed Hope operations more and more and more. And we're having more and more every day. But it's also, creating awareness. And I hate to use awareness because people say it all the time, and I don't want awareness for awareness sake. I want people to be aware so we act to do something. I think we really have to change laws and legislation, and I believe there's a lot of people in Congress and in DC that want to change it, but we have to get it done. We have to protect these boys and girls. And I know we have to figure out budgets and balances and all these important things, but what does it matter if we figure out a budget but our boys and girls in our backyard are being raped and abused? Like, let's make the main thing the main thing. This should be a main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this has to be a main thing.
Yeah, I guess to me, there's probably people that fall into two camps. There's probably people that would listen to that, watch that, and be like, can hardly believe it. And then there's people that probably fill their head with all kinds of perverse crap all the time and think, hey, that's probably feel pretty convicted and pretty crappy and pretty guilty, right? And
it's 111,000 of people sharing it.
Yeah, the
in the last
numbers,
30 days.
I think it's way more. I think it needs to be way more than just the outrage of how much it is. I think it needs to be way more about, I think, a personal journey for people of just, hey, like, how are we protecting the kids around us? Are we, along with that, like what he's doing is amazing, and I think there's probably there is a place for that. I think of like Brian, who you had on from Ruitenburg, right? He's like literally making a difference there again, somewhere else in the world, not in the USA per se. But
so yeah, anyways, like for anybody listening, like we get what, anywhere between 500 and 1,000 downloads an episode. So statistically, there is some people that are predators probably listening to this podcast.
yeah, for sure victims. That's
For sure victims. So I'll speak to that in a sec. But if you're a predator, like right now, go into your vehicle and drive to the cop shop and turn yourself in. I'm dead serious. Like, you need to repent from this and stop. Like, you are destroying lives, and it is awful. And yes, it'll be found out, and yes, your name will be tarnished forever, but you're going to be wrecking things even more. And there's hope if you turn and repent and turn to Jesus, but you need to stop right now and turn yourself in. Do it. You will. If you do not, you will suffer for an eternity if you do not turn.
More likely though, it's more likely that people just watch.
Even just watching, like, go get help, go tell somebody, like, because that's, I mean, if you're not actually doing it, but like just watching it, like, go get help, go talk to somebody, like someone you trust, call me, call Gary, do something, don't keep going. But also, if you're a victim, one of the reasons why this stuff keeps happening is because victims don't talk. And I understand why. If you hear Trevor's story on a previous podcast, whatever else like that, it makes sense. There's so, like, our minds get so wrecked from this stuff when this stuff happens to us. But the more it gets public, the more people you will likely save, and from this continuing to happen, and yourself. And so, like, if you want to share your story and this has happened to you, contact me and we'll have an episode together, and we'll share that episode, and we'll make an impact that way, or just talk about it publicly in your own area that you're in, and get the word out, and expose these people that are doing this, or get free yourself if you're being abused. Even if it's by family, usually it is by family. He said in this little clip here, the most common person that's doing this is dads to their own kids. Like, that breaks my heart. That is so wrong. If you think about how our view of God is the same view of how we view our own dads, think about how broken and twisted that is, but also how different God is. And the last thing I'll say to this is, Jesus can heal. If you've been affected by this and you are broken, Jesus can heal. Like, go to him, and it might not be now, and you might not even understand why this has happened in the first place and why God allowed it, but go to him, pray, and he can heal you and give incredible freedom. It reminds me again of Trevor's story, how he came on here. He called me today. He's a happy guy, and he's recovered. So there is healing possible. And so please, that is the way. And sometimes your church leadership might not help you, or other ways. Like, that does happen in churches where these things get covered up. Go to someone else, expose these things, and hopefully we can make a small difference. And if this has happened to you, I'm sorry. My heart breaks for you. But yeah, I wanted to, I thought it'd be good to watch that and to share that on the podcast here. So
Heavy stuff, man. Heavy.
Anyways, before we wrap up, next week we will get back to Gentle and Lowly. Hopefully you'll read it on your vacation. You'll have some extra time there if you're not on your phone.
What week is this getting released then?
This will get released on
last week, August.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So anyways, guys, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Please share this podcast with friends and family if you think it's worth it, or on social media, like it, subscribe. It goes a long way. Also, if you subscribe onto Patreon, you get access to the full clip uncut, with some behind the scenes stuff, early access to episodes, and some more stuff on there. But it does go a long way when you subscribe to that. So that is super appreciated. And you can do that on patreon.com/furiouslycurious. Till next week. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.